Okay, hey folks, it's Perry Kemick with Forward Montana. I'm the Senior Organizing Manager for Eastern Montana based here in Billings. And today I'm with the City Administrator for the City of Billings, Chris Kukulski. He's going to talk us through a little bit about what is on our ballot coming up this November in regards to the Parks and Recreation Bond. I've been finding it really helpful to hear from Chris a little bit about what actually is going on in the Parks Bond. Chris is not here to advocate, say yes or no for the vote, but he is here to educate and kind of give us some more information so we as voters can make an informed decision. So without further ado, I'm going to let Chris take it away.
Awesome. Thank you for the opportunity. So I always like to start out reminding folks that the City Council adopted these 5 strategic goals back in 2022 to improve the health and safety of Billings. That is our focus as a city. And so very directly, one of those is to improve safety. An additional item is to improve the built environment. It matters. The quality over quantity is the way I kind of summarize that. Continue investing in our infrastructure. So we've got a new airport under construction. We're adding reservoirs for water resources, roads, pipelines, things like that. This conversation is about the 4th area that they committed to doing, which is increase parks, trails, recreation, and cultural investments. So we'll talk a whole lot more about that. And then last but certainly not least, is to build a high performance organization. We have 1,100 roughly public servants who work for the citizens of Billings. And if we're all working together to make these things happen in collaboration with one another, then we can get a whole lot further than if we're trying to do it as individual departments, divisions, things like that. So to the park rec trail investments. So this bond that will be in front of voters very quickly through November 7th, ballots have to be in by the 7th, includes $174 million or $173 million in total projects. The bonded amount is $143 million because there's about $30 million in other revenues, some federal grants, a South Billings Urban Renewal District that can put $25 million in, and then you'll see some matching grants for trails and projects like that. And deliberately, these projects are spread all around the city. It's not one part of town, and it's not one area. So you got numerous trails projects, numerous community centers, the multi-generational rec center, and a lot of park upgrades. Specific to the community centers, what we are most excited about is activating these spaces with recreational programming at the city, with our partners, with YMCA, with partners at Boys and Girls Club, with partners with senior programming. The idea is to have locations available north, south, east, west, and in the core. So today we have a facility at Zimmerman Center that was built in '48. We have a center at North Park. We will be replacing those and adding facilities at Castle Rock Park, South Park, Centennial Park, and the multi-generational rec center. The rec center itself is the single biggest component of this. About 110 of the $173 million is estimated in this project. 2 sheets of ice, 2 bodies of water, hardwood courts, walking, running track, workout areas, all things so that our community can recreate and exercise all 12 months of the year. This is a further breakdown of that $173 million, and then how the debt on it ends up being closer to $143 million, specifically outlining some of those additional revenue sources that we can leverage if voters say yes. There was a substantial concern as to would we really follow through on these commitments we're making in 2023. So the City Council adopted roughly a 7-page resolution that really outlines that all these things we're talking about is what we're going to follow through on, that dollars won't be moved between parks, or the rec center won't suck up all the money, but instead we are making a commitment that investments are going to take place across the park system. It also requires that the community raise not less than $6 million in private funding before we break ground on any of the projects. great news is so far we're a little north of 4 million today, that there will be steering committees set up of community stakeholders around each of the projects to utilize those master plans and advise to our staff and our elected body what should be done with the investments in the projects. Point here is we think a lot about kids and families, but it's true that these assets are for all age groups in our community, from our youngest to our most senior users. There's also a very significant shift that's happened in the economy over the past several decades, and Billings experiences this. All of Montana is experiencing this, especially Western and ourselves here, where we've got pretty substantial economic activity. And that is, people are making choices where to live based on the quality of life in those communities. That now has become the top reason an individual or a family chooses to move more than 100 miles away. This is a survey just in 2023. It's called Talent Wars. Why did you choose to make that relocation? Quality of life, wanted to get closer to family. The new job it required a relocation. What is the cost of that $143 million bond to taxpayers in Billings? So the median homeowner in Billings will pay $162 a year more at the height of this bond. Median being dead center, so there's actually 24,000 properties who will pay less homes, and 24,000 will pay more. Back to stats class, median and mode is the center lining them all up together. Essentially, per $100,000 in taxable value, it's about $53 per 100,000. And almost to the end here, this gives some context about property taxes in Montana. So if you own the median home in Missoula, Montana, you're spending about $3,900 a year for your local city, school, county, and state property taxes and assessments. If you own the median valued home in Bozeman, your bill's about just a little under $3,600. Here in Billings, we're $2,737. If you're in Butte, you're at just under $2,000. I like to say the goal isn't to catch Missoula, but it is just to give some context as to what local property taxes look like in each of these communities. For more information, you could hit that QR code if it comes through the screen, or go to billingsmt.gov, and you can get a whole lot more information here, or go directly with the web address that's here. But that really hits the high points. There's a ton more information that get into a lot more details project by project, and tax effects and things like that. But I just really appreciate the opportunity you're giving us to share this information so that voters are more informed when they make that decision for themselves.